Uh, yeah, so trying out some PS2 stuff. Uh, this is basically the discs. So, but what I wanted to try was essentially to use the hard drive, as you can see here. So play the games with the hard drive. Um, I thought that I had an old. I thought I had too much of a old version of freemcboot for it to get recognized, and I thought the the PlayStation 2 would struggle with USB 3 because if you see, right here, if you see, like right here, this blue is USB 3. But what I thought about, because I think I might have tried USB. I think I might have tried a USB 3 USB stick in just one USB port, and it didn't get recognized. So what I thought I wanted to do, I thought that it should be possible to split, like you see that. So you're splitting two of the USB ports into one of these, and so then you plug the hard drive into, so you get power from both of them, and the hard drive should work. And it seems as though it did work. In one way, you might be able to do this with well, unless I'm stupid, you might be able to actually use a SSD instead of a mechanical hard drive. But I wanted to try this because now I have the discs. Though I had the discs first, but what I also did, I converted the burnt discs to ISO files, and then I copied the converted ISO files from these discs to the hard drive. That's what I did, and but I thought I had too much of an old version of freemcboot. I thought I had a old version, so it wouldn't really work, but it does actually work. I was really surprised. I think this might take a little bit where it loads here, but essentially it should work. I was really surprised. Like, does it really work? A guy was talking about some system folder, but I didn't really use that folder. Yeah, this takes a little bit when it loads up, but yeah, Ethernet. Yeah, I tried the Ethernet method. So you basically, but essentially what you do, yeah, some versions have some settings where, but essentially it's USB games you're looking for. There they are. And they are all ntsc. So essentially, yeah, the hard drive works here, and converted to FAT32 with GUI format. I wanted to try that because why not? You might as well get a SSD though. To be honest with you, get an SSD instead. I might do that to get a SSD external hard drive and use that instead of a mechanical one. But essentially, yeah, I essentially converted some of the discs here and transferred them over to the hard drive. And instead of using a power brick, I just used both the USB ports. So I split the power into both of them, and as you can see here, it got recognized. So whatever game, right? This game, for example, you can see the axis light. It um, it really works though. I was surprised. I wanted to try this though, so I did. I knew I had to get. I knew I had to get a splitter. Yeah, look, it works. Yeah, it really works. It really works. There's a burn game inside there, so but it really does work. Now loading. Um, I guess I wanna. Maybe it's a good idea to get. Yeah, it really does work. Like, so it actually does work. I thought I had too an old of a version of Ps2 Open Loader. That's what it's called. I thought I had, but it does work. You can see here. I thought I'm pretty sure this is 60 hertz, but I don't know why the black bars, because I had a PS2 disk folder, disk to ISO, and all these. This version, I think if I play the disk version, I don't get those black bars. Maybe there's something in the program that does it. I'm not sure, but this is pretty much. This is the US version, so. But yeah, indeed, you can see there. So it does work, indeed. So if you realistically want to do this, you need to get a USB 2.0. Is that a female to, or is that male? So like USB 2.0 male splitter to one female splitter, and then yeah. So because if you just try one USB part, it's not gonna pull enough power. So, and as you can see, the light right there flickers and the game is on, so it really does work. For some reason, I don't know why there's black bars there, because if I use the CD version, I think those go away. So there might be something in the program, but I'm not really sure. But indeed, you can see it does work, so it really is. Yeah, I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to give a lot of trouble, but I guess not. So it does actually work, like it's supposed to work. So